Good evening. Is there any hope that we could have a week of boring news? You know, just a few days in which politicians talk about interest rates. Maybe some sheep escape their field in Wales, causing a bit of traffic on the A road. Or where the worst crime to speak of is overenthusiastic teenagers drinking cider in the park as they break up for the school holidays. Would it be nice to have a few days where nothing bloody happens? But this is 2024, which is starting to play out like the most overwritten Hollywood movie that you've ever seen, with so many plot twists and unlikely incidents, the audience can scarcely believe their eyes. You've got an octogenarian president publicly embarrassing himself on a daily basis, with the calls for him to step down now becoming deafening. This guy has got days left. But Joe Biden's imminent departure from high office, amazingly, isn't even the biggest story of the week, as his political rival and the man now odds-on to win the keys to the White House in November, Donald Trump, suffers an attempted assassination. Democrat supporters, so-called liberals, normally condemn right-wing conspiracy theories, many of which, like the lab leak theory for COVID, turned out to be probably true. Well, the left themselves have now been indulging in their own wild conspiracy theories, suggesting that this assassination was staged and even potentially organised by Republican Party insiders. Take a listen.
We still don't know for sure whether Donald Trump was hit by a bullet. What is the actual injury to Donald Trump's ear that's under that bandage? Shouldn't we know that by now? It's weird. And there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of curiosity about it, you know, in the sort of media world, you know, my profession. It's weird, right?
I thought it was magnificently staged. It was professionally done. It almost looked real.
Am I the only one seeing this? Trump's dream comes true. He actually gets one of his cultists to try to kill without telling them to kill and thus making himself culpable. And the guy threatens McCarthy and Raskin.
What a bunch of sick ghouls. The attempted assassination being staged is a pretty bold claim, given the fact that a tragic bystander lost their life. Donald Trump does want to be president, but I don't think he's going to start killing people to make it happen. How about this corker from political commentator Joy Reid, who you saw in the previous video? And in this instance, comparing Donald Trump's attempted assassination to Joe Biden's mild case of COVID. You couldn't make it up.
This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing?
And many of these caring, sharing liberals have been busy online and in podcasts and on talk shows laughing about this attempted assassination.
Right before Melania gave her public statement, she was heard yelling into a phone, "You had one job." Too soon?
We don't miss those! One shot at greatness! To be mentioned in the history books! And you missed the shot?!
I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew, and he missed! We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed!
I'm not saying that I would ever try to assassinate a presidential candidate. All I'm saying is that if I went through all of that trouble, I wouldn't miss.
Blimey, even film star and comedian Jack Black didn't see the funny side when his bandmate said that his birthday wish, that's right, his birthday wish was that next time the shooter would finish the job and kill Donald Trump. These, by the way, are the good people, folks. The be kind crowd. Do keep up. Of course, if you laugh at an attempted assassination or even wish that it had been successfully executed, you are anything but kind. You are cruel, you are dangerous, you are violent, you are a total hypocrite, and you obviously have utter contempt for democracy. If the woke elite had their way, they'd probably like to limit who has the ability to vote altogether. We can't have the great unwashed expressing their deplorable opinions, can we? Now, it's my view that Donald Trump is an extremely flawed figure, and I'm not sure that he's fit for high office. I far prefer Florida's Ron DeSantis. But if it's a choice between a walking cadaver like Joe Biden and then Donald Trump, what are you going to do? Plus, Donald Trump will end wokery, seek peace in Ukraine and close the southern border, which would be nice. But irrational Trump derangement syndrome reached its nadir, with commentators furious about the size of the plaster on his ear, suggesting that it was oversized to get more attention and sympathy. I doubt that. If Donald Trump wanted to make a point, he could have given it the full British Museum Egyptian mummy, couldn't he? Now, accepting the Republican nomination to run for president, Donald Trump addressed his own party's conference this week in an unending speech that was longer than a night out with Paul Gascoigne in the 90s. Here's what he had to say. Donald Trump, not Gaza.
I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." Together we will save this country, we will restore the republic, and we will usher in the rich and wonderful tomorrows that our people so truly deserve. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer, greater, and more united than ever before.
In the end, Donald Trump is like one of those characters in a computer game that gets stronger when you attack them. They tried to impeach him, they tried to jail him, they tried to bankrupt him, and ultimately they tried to kill him. End result, he will be the 47th President of the United States. Supposedly woke liberals have been chuckling about this violent attack on Donald Trump, but in November, he will have the last laugh.